photographers. Fujifilm just sent over the recently announced SX20 camera. They also sent the tripod grip, the cooling fan accessory, the just announced 8mm lens and two power zoom lenses, 15 to 45 and 18 to 120. Feels like a lot to cover, so let's get started. And full disclosure, this kit is on loan and goes back after this review. Neither Fujifilm nor their media agency saw the script or video before I posted. No one has paid me to do this video, no ads, no interruptions. This year, every camera manufacturer seems to be after vloggers. And sure, if you're creating videos for YouTube or another social, the X-S20 is a good choice. Anyone purchasing a small camera for video production needs to be worried about overheating. The S20 differentiates itself from its peers with a cooling fan, although it is an optional accessory. And before we get to overheating, in this video I'm going to give you a rundown of features and controls to give you a sense of what this camera can and can't do, and to show you how it works. Now, if you're familiar with the X-S10, I'll show you how the S20 has been upgraded. I'll post a combined review tutorial performance test for the stills features and another for video. The X-S20 should be shipping about the time this video is posted, mid-June 2023. The X-S20 uses the same 26 megapixel APS-C sized X-Trans 4 sensor as the X-S10, but the processor is the upgraded X5 type. And it won't be a surprise that image quality lives up to my expectations of Fujifilm, even when I let the auto mode set the exposure and set the film sim on these straight out of camera JPEGs. Bright sunlight, sunsets, night scenes, crisp, detailed, realistic, and accurate colors. The S20 has a utilitarian basic black design. It's missing some of Fujifilm's retro DNA from models like the X-T30. No silver accented livery yet. And it's small, but not too small, with the 8mm lens, battery, and memory card, 723 grams. And it feels comfortable in my hand. My fingers find the controls easily. A slight forward taper on the on-off shutter combo, and minor changes from the S10. Some keys are larger, more defined. All of that feels positive in operation, except for the menu and display keys, which are flat and a little hard to sense with my eye in the viewfinder. There's no direction pad. The focus selection joystick does double duty for menu navigation. Right side front and back dials seem a little more clicky and detented than average. The left side is softer, and a left side lever opens the built-in flash. Many Fujifilm cameras have a front side focus mode selector, not the S20. And this is the same 2.36 m.100 frame viewfinder as the S10. Nice clicky diopter dial. The LCD resolution ups from 1 to 1.84 m.dots, same full articulation for shooting from any angle. And the S20 uses the new W235 battery, rated for 750 images, more than double the S10. The battery makes it slightly larger and heavier than the S10, and mostly that's in the larger grip. I appreciate that, particularly when shooting with the XF16-55 lens, which made the S10 feel front-heavy. The stills resolution remains at 26 megapixels, the video ups to 6.2K at 30 frames, 4K up to 60 frames. Maximum video bitrate is 360 megabits, up from 200 on the S10, H.264 and 5. The 30-minute time limit has been removed, leaving battery, card space, and heat as the variables for recording length. Fujifilm states the maximum for 4K 30 is 75 minutes. HDMI outputs ProRes and Blackmagic RAW video for external recording. A headphone port has been added on the right side. SD card support jumps from UHS 1 to 2. Card slot is underneath in the battery compartment. Now there are performance improvements in autofocus, now the same as the X-H2S. Stabilization increases to 7 stops with some video-specific improvements. For burst, a larger buffer to capture more high-speed frames. There's support for the high-efficiency still image format as an alternate to JPEG. The menu design, layout, and content remains the same, or at least very similar to recent models. Interestingly, in the initial setup, after date and time, it prompts for the overheating setting. Since video is the headliner here, I've switched over to the S20 to record this on-camera segment using a tripod, not the grip. The original recording for this scene is 4K, 16:9 at 30 frames, and that's recorded internally at 360 megabits using H.265, all intra, 10-bit, 422 color subsampling. That's likely overkill for YouTube, but I will output and post this video using H.265 10-bit. Although the S20 supports F-Log 1 and 2 for extended dynamic range, I'll leave that to the detailed video about video. And looking through the monitor, you can see that the autofocus has detected my face and stays locked on. I'm using daylight white balance with the classic chrome film simulation, providing softer contrast in colors, which I prefer when I'm the subject. That means a minimum of post-production adjustment. Now, I'm using the mode dial's vlog-specific setting with the background defocus option on. There's also a setting to focus on a product when you bring it up to the lens. Useful features for creators in a hurry. This is a PASM mode camera with 4 custom settings on the dial, along with auto, video, vlog, and a filter setting. Although I prefer Fujifilm's alternate direct exposure system, the mode dial provides full auto and manual control for all exposure settings. And many Fujifilm lenses have aperture rings, and the front and back control dials make manual exposure adjustments easy to access. Spoiler alert, no new film sims, just the 19 you already know. The drive modes include panorama, multi-exposure, a variety of brackets including focus and HDR, and continuous shooting, burst up to 20 frames at full res 30 with a crop. The right number of ports, micro HDMI video, USB-C for webcam and tethered shooting. It also powers the camera while recording. Audio, mic in, kind of a sealed connector on the left, headphone, very useful to verify a recording before you wrap, uses a different weather sealing model. A quick note on the weather-resistant 8mm lens, also available mid-June. Field of view is 121 degrees. Aperture ring sets from f3.5 to f22, closest focused 18 centimeters. Filter diameter is 62 millimeters and it weighs 230 grams with the included hood. For this wide angle, it's remarkably free of fisheye-like distortion. Also worth mentioning is Fujifilm's new X-App smartphone app. It's a complete redesign from the previous camera mode app, available free for both iOS and Android. In addition to the image transfer, remote shooting, and firmware update features, it can back up and restore camera settings. Those who use the custom settings for recipes will appreciate that. And the new timeline activity feature is interesting. Too soon to tell how useful it will be. Connectivity improvements are promised. I'll probably dedicate a video to the app to do a deeper dive into that. Now the kit includes a strap, cable, adapter, and plugs for charging. In the stills and video posts you'll see that this small camera provides versatility beyond your expectations, and it's not just for vloggers, but for creators of all kinds. And as I said, I'm not sponsored, no company pays me or tells me what to say. The camera and kit goes back to Fujifilm after the review. My revenue comes from Google Ads, before or after the video, and from the generous super thanks that my viewers contribute. I do enjoy engaging with you. Please post your relevant questions and civil comments. I read and reply to all. And thanks for finding the time to watch today. Stay safe.